Telemedicine Society of India, very distinguished speakers here, distinguished participants, all stakeholders, a very good morning to you. Well, to be very honest, I think it's a misfit that I am being asked to do the keynote address here. That's what I told Dr. Shah the other day, because me and my colleague Dr. Vikas Kharge, who's here, is the mission director of the NRHM in Maharashtra. Both of us were very keen to learn from this event being held in the wonderful city of Mumbai and in the wonderful state of Maharashtra. So it's more of as a student that I have come here rather than telling the experts what they need to do. Basically, I'm here really going to speak more about the problems which we have faced in the various telemedicine projects which we have been carrying on. At the very outset, I would like to place on record our sincere gratitude to ISRO, who were our partners when we began this journey around 4 years ago. But the key issue which has been, when we go into the simple definitions, however way we define on the telemedicine part, is bringing the clinical services which are remotely placed right now and bridging this gap. That is where possibly the information technology played the key role in bridging this gap. But when you look into the Indian context, more so in the context of rural India, while we have been able to bridge the gap, the real issue has been, have we been able to get enough doctors, subgroup of specialists to the people, basically to the patient. I would also say that hearing Professor Ganpati, Dr. Ganpati from Apollo, which I am hearing him a second time actually in the last 1 year, answered most of my questions, except why we are not able to do it. That is what has been main pain. I mean, 11 years of journey and we are still struggling to really make it happen on a larger platform, on a bigger canvas basically, etc. What the governments need to do to ensure that the ever expanding shortages of the physicians, the medical personnel across the country could be in sometimes optimally utilized, not really overcome, but optimally utilized through this instrument of telemedicine, telehealth, e-health, e-medicine, whatever way we would like to use it. Should telemedicine, the way it is being practiced to some extent at least within the governments, could be only an instrument of critical care and emergency health care, or it should be on a wider platform. Now, listening to the earlier few minutes, I came midway when Dr. Ganpati was delivering. He appears to be having at least not only a clear vision, but a roadmap for giving solutions to a larger set of problems which most of the state governments are facing. Unfortunately, within the public health departments across the country, telemedicine and attention towards greater details has been lacking considerably, I would say. I would have to admit that part, etc. We have been looking at from the patient notes point of view, the doctor or the specialist notes point of view, etc., and trying to find out how do we optimize. But what we have not been able to really bring on a platform is all the stakeholders, just like this particular telemedicine congress has been able to do, and that was the main intention of coming over here and trying to learn basically. So, we have a large number of projects here in Maharashtra. As I said, we began in 2007-8. Over the years, we have got 6 specialty nodes in the medical colleges. Unfortunately, the model which has been adopted allows us only to interact with the, or we have permitted ourselves to interact with the government medical colleges. We have not been able to extend or get listing of the services from the private sector except for Nanavati Hospital in Mumbai, etc. Now, outside Mumbai, also it has not been possible to get any support. Maybe we have been lacking in this. So some protocols need to be built in. How do we go about doing enlisting the services of the specialist? And I've got certain vision for the city of Mumbai, which I'll share towards the very end. We have gone over to the district hospitals as the first thing, etc. Rather than providing services as a part of the telemedicine to the patients, we have been using it also for continuing medical education, more so for our paramedical staff rather than for medical officers. But we are held up, and a very small statistics would just show that in spite of the intention, we have not been able to make progress much. In 2007-8, we had only 538 consultations. It was obviously the middle of the year. The next year we had 3,640. Now for last year 4,243. So we had a good look as to why we are not progressing basically. And that's for the entire state. Imagine this, what Apollo is doing possibly in a day, we are doing in a year. And we have got a wider population to really service in any case, etc. So in 2011-12 we had a look, we had some more fine tuning of the efforts, etc. And in the first 6 months, what we could do in the entire year of 2010-11, we exceeded, and we have now provided telemedicine services, consultations, etc. to a little over 6,000 people in the first 6 months. So we hope to do very close to 10 to 12,000 people, but that's a very small number, very, very small number. And I'm particularly distressed and unhappy as to why we have not been able to do it actually. So, typical problems have been there, and I'm not going to go into it. But what I would like to say is that we in the public health department in the state government are looking for partnerships with anybody who can provide and improve upon the current set of services, etc. We had a discussion with the ISRO, and obviously we are going to have further consultations in any case. I've also requested Dr. Ganpati to help us in any case, very informally, but I'll make a very formal request as well. And to anybody else who is willing to come and work in Maharashtra, who is in Maharashtra, is willing to share, etc. Maybe we have not been that active, but I think whatever lethargy we have had at our end, I promise to look into it along with my colleague here, and should not be a problem. So we would like to facilitate anything. Dr. Ganpati spoke about the revenue generating model, basically that being the bottom line, but for governments it would be the other way around, I would say. And we would like to realign our budgets in the public health departments. Whatever little fraction of a budget which we are assigning towards telemedicine, we'll make it several times more. In any case, Government of India is committed to doubling the health expenditure in the next 5-year plan. I mean, even doubling would be a very small effort, but anyway, doubling is a doubling effort in any case. So as far as I can see, in the next 5 years, availability of budgets from the Government of India and corresponding budgets from the state government should not be a problem, should not be a problem. The only thing is, resources being scarce as they are, somebody has to lobby for the telemedicine part and get all that support in any case, and that should not be too difficult in any case. Now, in Government of Maharashtra, we have got all the projects which Dr. Reddy mentioned in his address here. We have got 40 mobile medical vans, clinics. These are state-of-the-art design. State-of-the-art design in the sense, the Automobile Research Institute at Pune had helped in designing this along with a set of medical experts, etc. Most of these mobile medical units are placed in the remote areas in each of the district, underserviced areas basically. Dr. Reddy mentioned about portable equipments which would allow connectivity, for example, etc. We would be definitely interested in that sort of a project basically. As I said, these are the underserviced areas which are being provided the medical health services, etc. We have got the emergency medical response system. The tender is on basically, and that is the place where obviously several state governments in the country have used them. School health programs have been done in the country in various phases. Maharashtra was also doing it. What we have redesigned is that we have got the sub-district units. Those of you who are familiar with the administrative structure in the country, we have got the districts, and then we have got the sub-districts, the tehsils, and so on and so forth basically. Maharashtra has got 355 sub-districts. For each sub-district, we have got a male and a lady medical officer to go on a pre-scheduled format, visiting schools and looking into the typical problems school children are facing basically. Every year in Maharashtra, we examine a little over 10 million school children, on a dedicated basis, etc. I would say considerable time is spent in schools and in examination and giving whatever solutions is there, etc. However, what we have been lacking about is basically, except after the visit of the medical team to a school doctor, medical records are not being kept. Several things on the dermatology. This is a very common problem in most of the rural India. Hundreds of issues relating to the skin diseases are there, very prevalent. But right now we have got a very standard, typical approach. The medical team is trained to do certain things, but it's not recording. What has been suggested is obviously you could take videographs, etc., and just send it basically, etc. Now, as I said, most of my problems which we have been trying to address were really spoken about by Dr. Ganpati. So this is a major program. But another thing which we have realized in the school health program, most of the school children also have got a huge problem on the dental side. Oral hygiene is a major issue, and we are wondering if anybody could help us on that as well, etc. So that is going to be this program. Why I am raising these issues is, if one state in the country can do it, it will be replicated across the state. That is the only reason basically, etc. NRHM being a common thing, and we meet very often, etc. But unfortunately, some of these issues are barely discussed. Obviously, there are priorities on which one has to work. But if these are doables, and they are certainly doables, then we would like to showcase and ensure that telemedicine can be a very strong integral component for the next 5 years at least, and that shouldn't be too difficult for us to convince. Now, under the Government of India policies, citizen service centers are being provided in the villages. For every 4 villages in the country, you have got a kiosk basically over there, where typical citizen-centric servicing is to be given. A couple of companies have come forward and started using this facilities as a sort of a patient node basically, and provide services, etc. But it's in a very elementary stage. I'm wondering if there are obviously experts in this Congress who could help us in doing this. Maharashtra, by the end of this before the end of this calendar year, 25,000 gram panchayats would have been provided, the citizen service centers, etc. Now, several of these citizen service centers are at the same place where we have got a primary health center or a sub-center, etc. So this could be ideally advocated and channelized to use as a patient node if the technology is there on one hand and the schedule of the doctors on the other hand. in the next 2 weeks, we are starting the virtual hospital school concept in Maharashtra, where since we have a great shortage of anesthetists, physicians, pediatricians, so on and so forth, tying up with the medical colleges, 4 medical colleges in Maharashtra, we are going to bring in our rural medical officers to these medical colleges, just like post MBBS interns, and they will be placed. And the virtual hospital school concept will be launched in about 2 weeks' time in the state. Now, what we are doing obviously is the same common things, basically ensuring that lecturing, etc., is done through video conferencing and so on and so forth, but the surgical details being done in, say, for example, JJ Hospital, the premium institute in Mumbai, could be transmitted live to other places, etc. So we would be happy in getting collaboration on this. Finally, one of the project which was mentioned again is the health advisory call centers. Andhra Pradesh started with this 104 scheme in Andhra. Basically, it was providing a directory of various health services which was to be given or available. And if people wanted to know which was the nearest hospital of a particular type or a physician of a particular type, the service was being given in addition to telehealth consultancies, etc. We in Maharashtra are going to launch it in first week of December, more or less, or end of December in any case. The health advisory call center is being set up in Pune in any case, and various protocols are being devised, etc., on this, etc. Right now, obviously, it will be a phone facility available, but in our model, we are providing this health advisory call center services to all our paramedical staff, that is the ANMs, the ASHA workers, the MPWs, the medical officers, etc. We are not throwing it open to the public in the first instance. The whole idea being that while delivering a particular service for which the paramedical staff or the medical officers have been trained, they run into a problem. Right now, our model does not provide. If an ANM in a remote area is providing a particular health service and she runs into a problem, who is she supposed to contact, get further advice right now, etc. On paper, it looks brilliant that she is supposed to go to the primary health center, talk to the medical officer, get advice, etc. But that's not neither real time nor it's practical, basically, etc. So we are now setting up a 24/7 health advisory call center, which will enable a little over 30,000 paramedical staff. Other than the ASHA workers in Maharashtra are very close to 60,000. So for about 1 lakh paramedical staff, this health advisory call center would be made available now, sir. So these are the challenges which we have faced in the telemedicine progress, whatever we have done in the last couple of years here, sir. But the real challenges has been basically not at the patient node as much as at the specialist node. We have not been able to come up. Apollo Hospital has got its own set of doctors available, fine. But we have not been able to come up with a model where on a continuous basis we could provide specialists for whatever reason. And that has been a serious setback. The numbers which we spoke about, 5,000, 10,000, etc., could really go 100 times really, provided a good setup was made available. Now this brings me, we have been talking about the telemedicine aspect more of the rural background. Why can't we have the city of Mumbai, the entire corporation area, as a hub? Now Mumbai, as we know, is a very strange city in the sense that almost 60% of its population lives in slums. And getting health services in the slums has been a big challenge, basically. On the other hand, roughly 20% of all the medical professionals in the state are available in the city of Mumbai. I have been observing that several of the, no offense meant to any medical practitioners, top consultants in any case, top consultants begin their day as early as 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning. They will go and have their round in hospital A. By breakfast time, they are in hospital B. By lunch time, they are on hospital C. By afternoon, consultancies in some other location. And I mean, I see the top consultants in the city of Mumbai running from one place to another, providing maybe 6 hours of consultancies, spending 10 hours of traveling time at least. So, I mean, this is ridiculous, absolutely. Telemedicine could be a simple way out, basically. I see no reason the consultants in one part of the city traveling down, spending hours and hours on the road, traffic being what it is, etc. We have been talking to the builders also. The modern housing societies, both in the private and otherwise also, most of them are willing to put up in a housing society which has got say 200 flats, for example, or the entire complex which has got 1,000 flats, a center where the residents of the housing society could come. There could be a paramedical team, and if somebody requires any health consultancies, rather than the patients traveling from that housing society, which is wherever it is located within the city, and the doctors traveling to their respective centers, can we put up a system like this? It should be possible. It would save obviously the precious time of the doctors and the consultants and also the time of the patients, because the patients also have to travel on the same jam-packed roads, basically, etc. If this could be done in housing societies, we would definitely propose whether a similar thing could be done in the slums of Mumbai. Slums of Mumbai, I mean, all the health indicators of the slums of Mumbai are worse off than most of the rural areas, most of the tribal areas, for example, etc. And it's a big challenge, it's a big social challenge for these people living in slums in Mumbai, and it would be true of anywhere in the country or anywhere in the world, etc. Most of these people are rural migrants to urban areas looking for basically jobs. So they do not simply want to leave their jobs, however ill they are, basically, etc. Last year when we started doing this campaigning for the diabetes detection in the city of Mumbai, that is what we found. If we were expecting the patients to come to the nearest corporation hospital, etc., no amount of persuasion would make us succeed in bringing them here, etc. So it's the other way around. The mobile units, portable units, could be placed in different parts in the city of Mumbai, either in a housing society for the well-offs or for the underprivileged people living in slums in their respective slum areas, in a common citizen center, etc., where the patients could come. On the other hand, the city is full of doctors, consultants, etc., etc. They could go to a common center rather than traveling to 6 places and provide these services. This is a model which is a part of the urban health interventions we have been thinking about, etc. If anybody, any stakeholder would like to come and discuss with the government of Maharashtra, they would be most welcome in any case, etc. I don't think I would like to say anything further than this, etc. As I said, I've used this forum to learn, to place the problems, look for support from any one of you, all of you who can help us on either on the medical side or on the IT side, etc. Government of Maharashtra is committed to providing all the support. I would once again thank all the organizers for giving us this opportunity. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jayant Mathia, for having given us a very good exposition of one of the government telemedicine program, in which Maharashtra is the biggest state in India, geography-wise, and it has the great names of Bombay and Bollywood, and the progressive agricultural aspects of this state. So, in fact, I was involved in the implementation of Maharashtra telemedicine project from ISRO when I was working there. and I discussed with him, and government of Maharashtra came forward when ISRO set up 6 telemedicine centers. The government themselves came forward to fund 30 telemedicine centers, and I'm very happy to hear that progressively their telemedicine consultation is increasing. All the best for you, and we look forward to greater interaction of telemedicine within your state for both rural and urban. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.